Hi and welcome back to another video. Right, in the last episode we managed to work out that the front of the wing's pretty good nick. Found out where the bit of accident damage was, where that slight crease was about 1 mm from the front of the edge of the wing. So we sorted that. It might need a little bit more fettling when we come to actually put the front end back on, but I'm happy that that's solid. Obviously it needs cleaning back more and more. Once I get the repair done on the shock tower, I'm going to clean back all the paint and any debris of underseal or anything like that that's on the car. I'm going to get that all in bare metal, because you can see obviously the flitch panel is new and I've done that with that, and I'll sort of marry it up that way because the whole car's going to get stone chipped again underneath and painted. So it's just a peace of mind to get all the paint off. You can't go wrong with it at the end of the day, because that way once you know all the paint's off it, you can cure rust it if there is anything there, or if you can do major repairs if you have to. But underseal, sealant, everything can hide some serious sins on cars, so it's best practice. I'm pretty confident once this repair's done here that'll be it really for this wing. So yeah, without further ado, let's get set up, let's get suited up, and let's trim out all of this and see what we're left with, shall we? Right, so you remember from the previous episode I mentioned this is two skins or two layers of metal. So you've got this bit here, which is basically the bulkhead where your big bolt for your subframe comes down through here. On the other side there's a big cross member across there, so that's that section, and this is actually your inner wing here. So I'll actually trim this out gently, that way it gives me what I need to repair it as well. And then what I'll do is I'll then cut out the other bit. I'll paint it all in there like I said, and yeah, we will basically make two repair sections up and repair it that way. So without further ado, let's crack on. We have to, well, you can see actually moisture in that, it's horrible. Yeah, so yeah, two repair sections made up. So I'm going to take it out separately so you'll be able to see. Try and set the camera up close enough so you can see the two areas. Right, so with that cut out, you can now see I've got a clear rectangle there. Through there is like the big box section you see running in your engine bay where your tower bolts bolt it through. So you'll, in a minute when I cut this out, you'll see straight into that. So I've got clear, this is all good and solid, it's actually shiny. Down there you can see shiny metal as well. So this is just the same as what the other side was. If not, this is probably a little bit worse because this wasn't quite far as gone in this hole. But yeah, what I'll do is obviously I've got that rectangle to make. I'm going to cut this square out, and then that gives me a square to make. And then I'll obviously weld the back piece in first after treating it all inside there, and then we'll box it all back over with a new piece. What I have done is kept the bit I've cut off as a rough template, because that does help, hence why I was a bit careful cutting it off. So without further ado, let's crack on and get the rest of that out. Right, so both sections are off now, and you can just see how much better that looks, just getting rid of that rot. I've gone back right to the edges just to make sure I've got no rot. It's all lovely and shiny inside there. You can just about see that's like a factory primer. All this stuff here is like a, I don't know, it's just like a wax. I think it was all like sticky in the other side, if you know what I mean. Like, it had been quite recently done, but obviously no one's had this open since it was new. So there, those two holes you see, that's where I pulled that weld out yesterday, where this block attaches to. Out there, so obviously we've got a new one of those. So I'll probably do this repair first, and then weld that block back in once I line everything back up with a new overpiece. So for now, I'm going to clean back all in here, and you know what's coming next. Some good old Coup Rust. Can't beat this stuff. I'm actually running a bit low. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll get all inside that, in there. And let me just try and get the light in. You guys might be able to see a little bit. So you can see I've just cleaned back dirt basically that's on the bottom, but all in there, it's obviously, that's the bulkhead of the car. So I paint in there as far as I can. I do apologise about the light there, it's pretty bad. I paint in there as far as I can, but I'm going to Coup Rust all this just to make sure there's nothing else around. You can sort of see where I just can't quite get in with the tools. My belt sander, once again, is awesome for jobs like this. It's cleaned this back perfectly. The flat disc was getting all clogged up in all this horrible paint. So, right, time for the Coup Rust, or Coup Rust, and yeah, we can then get on to priming and painting the inside. So off camera, I'll make the panels up. You guys don't need to be taught to suck eggs. It's literally, obviously, make your template and make the two pieces. I've got roughly the piece to do the outer side, so I'm just going to make a square to go in there, get them made up, and then while time's a bit short to work, that's quite a quiet job you can do when it's a bit too late in the evening. So yeah, without further ado, let's get cracking with that and get this all rust treated. Right, so I'm just going to leave that to do its thing for a bit. I'm really chuffed with how it sort of has been quite located, the damage. It is a mirror of the other side. It's hopefully going to be an okay repair again. I was quite chuffed with the other side. We're going to, once we've done this, obviously make the panels up. Once this is all welded up, the bonnet's only just sat on there anyway. I'll take the bonnet off and I'll clean back both wings, and I'll get both wings in primer. Like I say, the other one's a bit further along, as in, it's had both of them have flitch panels, but that side's had this repair done already. So all I need to do on the other side is take the top of the wing off and sort out that bit again on that side. But what I'll do is I'll move the car around a bit tight for space. We'll move it all around, and then we'll prime both wings with some zinc primer. That way, hopefully it will keep it at bay. And then once all the front ends and on and all that sort of stuff, we will obviously be on to the fact that we can get the whole thing in stone chip and stuff when it's all painted. So all these little repairs you won't see, like obviously the flitch panels being put in and things like that. So they are repair panels at the end of the day. You have to do your thing, but they don't make a repair section for this. The only real cure for this is to not do the flitch and just put a whole inner wing on. But you've got to try and save what you can save. You can just see down there, that's all the original paint. So you can just see how good this wing is. I mean, that's still shiny under there. So we're not, once this is done, we're not going any further than that. So yeah, got to leave that to do its thing. So I'll catch you back in a sec. Right, so that's all now cleaned up. I'm happy with sort of the rust is gone. I've let the Coup Rust do its thing. I've cleaned it all back. I had to repeat it in a few little areas like around here, hence why it's still a bit darker. But I've cleaned back that. All in there is now zinc primed, so it's at least got some protection. Me being me, it is going to get some top coat in there as well. But while I'm waiting for that to do its thing, because it is very cold, luckily my light that's down here is actually giving it quite a bit of heat, so hence why the light's sort of pointing right at it. But I've made up the pieces of steel now, so I've got some nice new fresh pieces. So that's the inside piece, and that's the piece that would have been sandwiched. So they literally sit butt onto each other like that, and that's why this issue's probably happened. Because if you think you've got your strengthener, your inner wing, and then your shock mount, that's three pieces of metal completely sandwiched. So obviously between each layer I'll prime and paint where I can. But yeah, you just got to do the best you can at the end of the day. You're enclosing another gap, but at least you can get in there, clean it all out. It looks a bit bad now. Weld it all back up, and we'll obviously be like the other side where we've got a nice clean repair, knowing it's all good and solid and painted inside. So what I've done is I've sprayed the paint right as far in as I can. There's a little relief hole in the center of that box section anyway, and I sprayed it as far as I can see the spray coming out of that hole, so it's way past the middle of it. So yeah, I can't do any more than that at the end of the day. When I did the other side, I waxed in there as well, so it's probably a bit overkill, but it's better than what it was. So there's coverage, which there was nothing before. So I'm gonna let this do its thing, I'm gonna let that dry off. These are ready to go. What I might do is etch prime the side that's going on the inside. Sorry, not etch prime, zinc prime the piece that's going on the inside. It's weld through primer anyway, so just put that straight in, magnet, and start getting it welded up. So, but right now we've got to let weather do its thing because it's so cold. I don't have a heater in my garage, so yeah, I'd love a heated garage. There's someone I know does have a heated garage, but you know, can't have it all, can you? But yeah, so for now we're going to let it do its thing. So I'll flip around now and let's have a proper look at it. Right, so all inside there. I'll pick up the torch. All painted. Doesn't have to look perfect, but you can see as far as I can get the light to shine. That's all painted in there. So I'm happy that that's now the case. So like I mentioned, the smaller piece goes inside there, and then the other piece goes over the top. What I'll do is when I put the other piece on, I'll get a pen from the other side, or a scribe, or a punch, and I'll just mark the 4 holes back out, because obviously we have got to put the retainer back on this bit, which I'll probably put these pieces in, then put the retainer on, then mark the holes. So yep, let it do its thing and then get some top coat. Right, so not the best of light there, but there you go. That's painted and lacquered in body colour. So bit overkill. Well, I don't see it as overkill anymore, and many of you have agreed with me, painting cavities is a good idea. So right, we'll let that do its, well, that can just dry as it is really, and then we'll get the plate on and start welding. So yeah, this is the piece that's going to go on the inside. So I've primed the face you won't see again, so it's got some zinc on it, and then obviously we'll weld this side. Right, I will admit that's not my best welding. It's got obviously good heat penetration, but I've had to do bit and try and keep it level, and then my welder starts mucking up again. So like I mentioned, I think in the Clubman build, I don't know what's wrong with it, it's like it loses its settings, but it's welded mint all around here and then just gets to the end. So more research, but we'll grind all that back, and obviously another whole plate's going over that, so it won't matter. Just got to be solid. Right, so that's that piece just sort of sat in place. So I just pull it out and get it out. There's my repair behind there. So like I say, it's not going to be perfect, and then that piece goes straight over the top, and that's completely flush. So you can see I cut a bit too much there, but you can weld that up. That's completely flush and it stays there, so it's nice and tight. Oh, there you go, that's where it should be. So yeah, that's a sort of defect in it there. So what I might do is sort of tap the wing from the inside there, and then obviously weld all the way up there and along there. So time to get the inner face primed again, like tradition, and then get this bit welded on. Right, so I've bolted it back on now. That's rock solid now, so I'm going to put the 2 tacks back on the back, hold that block back in place, and then that's that back in where it should be. Right, so I've primed inside, primed this plate now, just held in rough place with a magnet. I'm going to get a few tacks around it and then I can remove the magnet. And let's just get this welded up, so then I can flat it all back. We'll do the few minor bits that it needs up here, and then we can get this wing in primer. So I'm quite chuffed that we can get to that stage. But for now, the rest of this episode, I'm going to try and get this welded up, ground back, and that repair done. and then what I'll do is I'll finish this off, and next episode hopefully we'll see this wing completely ready to go. So yeah, fingers crossed. Right, so it's all welded in. You can see where I've sort of spotted it and done little seams just to try and disperse it really. Yeah, get this all cleaned back. It doesn't look very pretty, never does, me. But yeah, I'm getting there. At least it's welded better this time, so nice and solid. Got a lot of rigidity back in the wing nut, so yeah, let's get it ground back and some primer on it. Right, so that's that repair all finished now. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that. It's all done. I've basically primed it and put a bit of seal around it just to secure it really and keep it nice and clear from the elements. So I know that area's done now, so what I'll do is I'll clean back the rest of the wing. There's a few little areas on here that need a bit of tapping and maybe a few little bit of copper underneath and a bit of spot weld just where it's pulled the weld out a little bit, so you don't want it torn. You want the best possible surface to put your new wing on. But yeah, I'm happy that's that side done as well, so already it looks better as a wing. So on to the next job, which will be cleaning the wings, get the rest of that wing off that side, and then hopefully we're at the point where we can put some bigger panels back in it. Thank you for watching, guys. I know it's a bit of a boring job, but it does prove that you can save panels once again. So yeah, catch you in the next one. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. There's plenty more coming, and hit the thumbs up on this video. Thank you.